My name is Frank Grinnell with Grinnell Capital. Thanks for tuning in. This is our third macro view talk. We have done our 2022 outlook so far. We've done an inflation talk. We have, and today we're here to talk about the metaverse. One of the things I just started to explain was this isn't going to be a metaverse conversation from like a coder's perspective. This is more from an investor's perspective. One of the things we do, we work with financial advisors closely to help them have more successful practices. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to share a screen with you guys. Okay, hopefully you can all see that. What to know and what to do with what you know is the title for today's conversation. I'll head over to the first slide, which isn't, there it goes. So here's the agenda for today's call. What is the metaverse? Companies that are working on the metaverse infrastructure. Virtual land, we'll talk about actual real estate transactions taking place out there in the metaverse and other kinds of transactions on goods. What is the currency of the metaverse? This is sort of a, maybe not even a trick question. You guys can probably guess. And I think maybe most relevant, the Omniverse in terms of most relevant for someone like me. And I'll talk more about that as we get there. So what is the metaverse? Satya Nadella and Mark Zuckerberg would have you believe it's the future of the internet. After all, Mark did go and rename his company Meta. Facebook is no longer. You know, and some experts believe it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. I think that could be true. And I think the way to think about it wouldn't be just from the infrastructure players, but also commerce that would take place. So if you talk about crypto transactions, you talk about virtual goods, whether it's retail, land, art, we'll talk about this. I think all that combined could be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. You know, and we're all familiar, and part of the metaverse is here already, right? Obviously, we're on the internet right now. We all do meetings on Zoom. You watch your kids play Fortnite. This is all sort of part of that. Virtual reality, augmented reality, virtual worlds. Again, Fortnite's a great example of that. Roblox, you probably have kids that do both those things. That would kind of fall in that virtual world category. This is all encapsulated. Virtual real estate. People can buy and own homes, cars, art, sneakers, designer wear, handbags. It's all coming. It's all already here, and it's all coming even more so in terms of what's going to be available. And some believe it's going to be the #1 social media network. In all honesty, some believe that you're going to engage with your friends, and there'll be a talk of, okay, let's all go get a drink. And the big conversation is, are we going to get a drink in like the real world or like the metaverse? My question is, are you actually going to have a drink if you go do it in the metaverse? I don't know. But that's all what others are saying. These are not necessarily thoughts from yours truly. So companies working on the metaverse infrastructure. And this is, you guys have heard a lot of these. Most of these names you're going to know, if not all of them. Our buddy Meta, formerly Facebook. Nvidia, probably, the #1 graphic design computer chip company on the planet, led by Jensen Huang, one of the most innovative folks of our time. Him and Elon Musk maybe are tied. Microsoft, Roblox, Unity Software, probably heard of them by now. Matterport, you've probably heard of them by now, maybe not. Snapchat, and there are other companies I could throw up here, right? Adobe. When it comes to companies engaging in the retail space on the metaverse, those are almost infinite, whether it be Nike and a pair of sneakers, Lulu, you name it, all that stuff's coming. So I think it'd be interesting right now, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time, but just on these names, go over thoughts on real quick valuation, because that's pretty top of mind these days when it comes to the markets. And maybe what kind of thoughts are in terms of how these stocks are acting and what's going to be going on over the near term, medium term. Facebook, we'll start with the cheapest one in the group, 2022 price to earnings, looking like 22.8 times for, not too commanding, and their price to sales is 7.5. Again, not too commanding. That's the cheapest one we've got on here. Arguably maybe the one that's maybe the big head scratcher, right? They've got the biggest Rolodex on the planet. So that's maybe how this all works for them. Nvidia, it's pretty obvious to see how they're going to fit into this. They're trading nowadays at 59 times the 2022 price to earnings. Obviously, a very profitable company, expensive, probably always going to be expensive in my opinion. They are the leader out there in what they do, despite catch-up attempts by maybe AMD, but Intel, I don't think it's going to happen. Microsoft, current PE 32 times, price to sales 11.5. A little expensive for what would be legacy Microsoft, but new Microsoft turning into maybe a gaming juggernaut, right? We all saw him buy Activision. I think that's really interesting. I think Satya's got I think he's got a really good 30,000 foot view sort of helmet on. I think he's thinking about things the right way. That's one of the stocks that, in my opinion, acts the best right now in the kind of chaos that is the tech landscape. Roblox, 16, we can't talk about earnings. They're not there yet. 16 times on a price to sales, much better than it has been. Maybe not quite done correcting itself, as is the case for the other stocks on this list, but not overly outrageous. Unity software, three-dimensional spaces is kind of what their specialty is. Applications towards video games, architecture, etc. They're definitely going to be a player in this. They're a little more expensive, trading at 30 times price to sales on a 22 multiple. Matterport, it's funny, pull up the description for Matterport. Part of their description literally is digital twins in terms of what they do. They construct exact replicas of physical spaces, right? Easiest way to think about it, and something you've probably all done, is if you look at on Zillow, you pull up the virtual tours for homes, that's Matterport. And their applications are quite relevant when it comes to where things are going in the metaverse. And then Snapchat. I put Snapchat up there. Never been a huge fan, never owned it. No offense, but they are working on a pair of augmented reality glasses, which I think is really interesting. I don't think anyone likes the idea of putting on the Oculus thing and doing that whole deal. But if you can put on something lighter that gives you that sensation of an augmented reality, like a virtual conference, you have a virtual friend sitting next to you on the couch, that stuff's interesting. Maybe that's where they're going to go. Who knows? Virtual land. This is really interesting. I've kind of learned a lot about this recently. So concerts, you guys have probably heard about this. Fortnite, Travis Scott did a concert on Fortnite. You can log in. I don't know how many millions of people did this, and your avatar can go watch Travis Scott perform. Ariana Grande's done one. Justin Bieber has done one. There's also shopping malls out there. There's casinos out there. That's all going to come, I think, even more so. Decentraland. Many of you probably have heard of this place in cyberspace. This mimics New York City in terms of what they're trying to accomplish. A huge urban center, high rises, spaces for rent, valuable real estate. They literally have 50 by 50 foot parcels of virtual land for sale, and there's 90,000 total of them, and they are getting scooped up. I kid you not. But yeah, that's called Decentraland. And Superworld is another one. You take Decentraland and go out to the entire globe, the planet. That's Superworld. The entire planet superimposed virtually. You've got landmarks that you can buy and own. These are all, obviously, you own these through NFTs, non-fungible tokens. But you can buy landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, the Taj Mahal. You can buy your house. You can buy your house in Superworld. It's I got to look at my numbers. You have to excuse me. It is 64.8 billion plots of land for sale in Superworld. Yeah, it's wild. What's the currency for all this? Probably no big surprise. Crypto. So for Decentraland, I looked that up. The currency for that is Mana, MANA. I checked yesterday, it was trading something like $2.70. Bought you a token of Mana, the currency of Decentraland. So that's each place is going to have their own cryptocurrency. So that's kind of relevant if you're talking crypto in terms of the appreciation in those currencies versus which virtual land is going to be most successful in all this, right? Not to get too into crypto. Okay. This application, I think, to me is the most interesting. To me, makes the most sense investing more here and now. Jensen Huang has an amazing video on YouTube. I think you should go check it out on the Omniverse. This is his term. He's coined it. So what is the Omniverse? The Omniverse is a 3D world where AI and applications drive amazing things. So the big example and the easy way to think about this is going back to that digital twin that I talked about, Matterport, and what they're trying to do. So the Omniverse companies are constructing virtual copies of themselves, their factories, their plants, and troubleshooting and simulating and going through different scenarios. If they change X, Y, and Z, how does that impact production? You name it, cost savings, efficiencies, energy savings, all that stuff can be simulated with these digital twins. It's amazing. So if you look at Siemens, for example, is doing this with a power plant. They had a plant that they had to shut down quite a bit to take care of erosion from steam. They now have the digital twin of this power plant that shows them scenarios and shows them when they need to shut this down, exactly where they have to go and troubleshoot for this erosion problem. Saves them their downtime is decreased by 70%, 70%. Huge cost save. BMW has duplicated, I believe it's 3 of their factories to drive automation, drive increased synergies and efficiencies, and just take complex scenarios and just troubleshoot. And you look at Ericsson, this one I think is the coolest. So Ericsson has gone and they have a digital twin of an entire city with relevant materials for the buildings and what they actually are in this city. They're doing that so they know exactly where to put up their 5G cell towers and micro towers, and how to get the best signal at every spot in the city. It's wild. So these applications, in my mind, absolutely are coming. If you're a company, why wouldn't you do this before you roll out something huge of scale and of cost? Why wouldn't you troubleshoot it first in this way? So yeah, huge opportunity as far as I'm concerned. And that's it for the content part. So we've got other events that we do. So that was our Metaverse macro discussion. We've got another one coming up. Sorry, I got to move myself out of the way here. Next month, and we've got we're also doing peer-to-peer events in different cities. So look out for us coming to a city near you. Denver is going to be our first one, February 17th. These will be super engaging for financial advisors. Check them out. Ask us about more details for these. And, sorry, this is so busy. We're going to streamline things next time around. But we do Smoothies and Stocks. It's our weekly installment on YouTube. Every Wednesday, we have a new one there. We talk about sectors. We give some stock thoughts. And there's another new segment we're going to do monthly, sectors spotlight and stock picks. I'm smiling because there's also going to be a dad joke in there. That's not my idea. That's my business partner's idea. She thinks it's fun. So we're going to do that too. That's one of my biggest challenges. Stocks and sectors I can handle. It's a dad joke. So they're going to be the challenge. All right. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I am going to show you some disclaimers because that's, what I have to do. Please reach out. Questions, thoughts, future topics, frank@grinnellcapital.com, all one word. And I really appreciate your time today. Take care and hopefully get in some skiing. Stay healthy out there. Get in some skiing. Why not?
Cool. You push end?
Yeah, I put stop share and meeting for all.